Advanced Heal. Advanced Heal adds an extra 50% healing to your armor powder and healing berries and makes them heal over time instead of instantly. This can be useful when in the shadow to help you survive longer and pairs well with jades like Group Heal to heal everyone over time, or a Soothing Boon to help you conserve healing supplies. Aerial Rend. Aerial Rend adds a shockwave to the end of a greatsword charge vertical attack and increases the damage by a small amount. This is one of the least impactful jades in the game, since it makes an already slow attack even easier to parry. Aerial Rend can be guaranteed in a combo by weapon swapping on an uppercut grapple bump. Alchemy. Alchemy gives you stacking damage reduction for eating Salax, prickly pears, and sand pears. A fully stacked alchemy jade gives the max amount of damage reduction on its own, and even if you have multiple alchemy jades on you, eating fruit only counts towards one of them. Armor Pierce. Armor Pierce makes your musket shots ignore a target's armor and damage their HP directly at the cost of slightly reduced damage. Armor Pierce won't go through ultimate transformations that make artificial HP bars like Valda's second ultimate or Faria's mech, but if Faria is directly shot in her mech, Armor Pierce will still work on her. Assassin's Lunge. Assassin's Lunge changes the dagger's soul break attack and is upgradable to give it access to Nether Step, allowing the user to chain dagger dashes at a reduced stamina cost. Assassin's Lunge has a combo with charged horizontal, dagger dash into Assassin's Lunge, then uppercut the enemy for aerial horizontals. Assault Smolder. Assault Smolder is a very useful jade that makes your grapple attack apply a burning fire damage debuff on an enemy that drains their HP directly. This jade is good for dealing with Faria's mech and can apply damage to a frozen Justina. Aurora Burst. Aurora Burst is an oppressive offensive jade that silences enemies hit with first part and continues into a large area attack that does a pretty good amount of damage. This jade can be followed up on at the end with a sliding uppercut to extend into a combo, and when using Justina or Valda, this jade allows for infinite combos. Benthic Descent. Benthic Descent is pretty straightforward. It alters the vertical follow-up after a charged horizontal with dual halberds. This makes the attack optimal, since the usual combo options after a charged horizontal will not only take much longer, but might not do as much damage either. Blistering Edge. Blistering Edge is probably one of the best jades in the game. It changes Pulse Sword charged horizontal into a single hit attack that deals fire damage and can be guaranteed in a combo with a weapon swap after a grapple bomb. It's also good against Faria mech or Frozen Justina. Burst Arrow. Burst Arrow makes a charged bow shot explode on impact, dealing reduced damage to the initial target and dealing area of effect damage to enemies near the initial hit. This jade is more effective in team modes than solos since it lowers the damage done to a single target. Cavalry Bloom. Cavalry Bloom makes your dual blades charged horizontals move you forward with the attack, giving the user a substantial increase in hold check pressure and flexibility. This jade's attack can be confirmed in combo by weapon swapping on uppercut grapple. Cloudweaver. Cloudweaver changes the fist blade's second stage charged horizontals. This new attack sucks enemies in with small damage and knocks them away with a big damage attack. Cloudweaver can be parried throughout the entire attack, and it can be confirmed in combo when Matari also has Sky Punch and uses her second skill and or second ultimate. Cyan Fang. Cyan Fang is a universal jade that changes the third horizontal and chain on every weapon, while also giving a small heal based on damage dealt. Some of these Cyan Fang attacks used to exist as separate jades, and some of these attacks can be confirmed in combo under the right circumstances. Desperation. Desperation gives you a whopping 30% extra attack damage boost when you are under half health. This can be useful on characters whose ultimates give them some sort of HP protection like Syrah, Faria, or Valda, since they can benefit from the attack boost and still be safe from most, if not all, forms of damage. Detonating Rounds. Detonating Rounds makes charged pistol shots apply a ticking time bomb to hit targets, at the end of which they will take damage and be staggered. Not everyone knows this, but the Deto Rounds explosion can be dodged to completely avoid its effects, and once you learn the timing, you'll rarely take damage from this again. Dragon Roar. Dragon Roar alters the nunchuck's meter dump from a 2.0 charged vertical, extending the range and increasing the damage. Just like the normal Dragon Flurry, you can follow up on this attack with a vertical by dodging, and with combo extending abilities like Valda F1. Dragon-like Might. Dragon-like Might changes the dual halberds charge horizontal to cover much more ground before lifting the enemy into the air. Since this jade takes so much time, it can be used with Valda or Justina for infinite combos in their ultimates with dual halberds. Dreadful Whale. Dreadful Whale gives new options to the dagger. When pressing vertical after a dagger dash, the first part of Dreadful Whale activates, and the user jumps into the air for a moment. Vertical input while in the air activates the powerful attack Dreadful Whale is known for, a gold focus attack that is still blue and parryable for the first couple of slashes. While in the air, horizontal does a quick, non-focused forward kick attack. This attack can chain into another dagger dash, and this unlocks a movement technique that moves fast, is pretty safe from grapple stun, and conserves stamina well. Earthshaker. Earthshaker activates on Greatsword 3rd stage charged horizontal, making for one of the largest and most devastating area of effect attacks in the game. However, it's very easy to see and react to, so using it can be a bit tricky. It's best used to surprise an enemy by falling from a rooftop with a charge, or using Matari's second ultimate to teleport behind an enemy and instantly release it. Erudition and Spear Storm. Erudition changes Spear charge vertical in kind of a suboptimal way, since the original charge vertical of Spear does large damage in a single hit, making it very useful for many different situations where you would only get the first instance of damage in any given sequence of attacks. But it does do more damage overall and has purple focus to help it be harder to deal with in a chaotic team fight. Erudition can also be confirmed in combo with the right character or terrain. Spear Storm is pretty negligible. I don't remember the last time I saw someone use it, but it can be used directly after Erudition, and who knows, maybe it'll be so slow that the enemy will miss 2 parries on you and still eat the Spear Storm. Explosive Armor. Explosive Armor is a terrific defense jade that will push enemies back the first time your armor is broken. This is good on anyone, but in a team mode, it will likely be best to prioritize giving this jade to someone on the team that is not using a defensive ability that can be used well under attack, or give it to the person you think is most likely to be focused out. If you're mindful enough, you can time the explosive armor to get free damage. Fire arrows and target lock. Fire arrows adds a burning fire debuff to 2nd stage charged bow shots, while slightly reducing their base damage for balance. Landing 3 bow shots with this jade upgrades it and unlocks the devastating potential of target lock. Target lock makes your bow shots prevent enemies from dodging for 3 seconds on impact, with a 15-second cooldown per enemy. Enemies will often not notice they are affected by target lock right away, and this is great when going for headshot restand combos since the enemy won't be able to dodge out. Focus Slide. Focus Slide adds a blue focus attack to your normal running crouch. This jade is not available in solos because of how powerful it is in a 1v1 situation. This is one of my favorite soul jades, and after a lot of testing, I can explain how the application of damage works. Think of your slide as having segments, each one an equal length. These segments represent where in the slide damage is applied from Focus Slide. If we slide into the enemy with a slide that is only as long as the first segment or shorter, it will only damage an enemy 1 time. If we slide into an enemy with a slide that is longer than the first segment of damage application is lost and does not affect the enemy. If we slide into an enemy with a slide that is still in the first segment but crosses the line into the second segment while the enemy's hitbox is within hitting range, Focus Slide will apply the damage and knockback of the next segment. So when sliding into an enemy from certain ranges away, you can control how many hits you get on the enemy, or even how close together the hits are, letting you manipulate the juggling effect of Focus Slide for maximum combo extension. Group Heal. Group Heal reduces the healing effect of your armor powder and healing berries, but they affect your entire team. This jade is not available in solos and pairs well with advanced heal or soothing boon. You typically want your team's support to carry this jade so they can heal the main damage dealers during the fights. Heartstopper Kick. Heartstopper Kick silences enemies hit by Dragon Slayer and gives the user a second opportunity to hit the silencing attack if the first one misses. This jade is pretty good in solos for setting up Dragon Slayer combos that enemies won't be able to immediately use a combo breaker ability out of, and good in team modes for silencing enemies into Neja's Might to set up your team for easy kills. It's also useful for silencing certain enemies in their ultimates like Yodo, Justina, or Shio. Hepta Detach. Hepta Detach is a follow-up attack after any longsword charge attack that locks an enemy in its animation until it's over, where they are unable to use any defensive abilities to break out, and Hepta heals the user for 4 times the damage of the jade's attack. The actual damage of the jade is negligible. It's the CC and healing of this jade that make it so strong. Hepta is guaranteed after a Phoenix Blast grapple combo. Jabbing. Jabbing makes the staff charge horizontal deal all its damage in a single lightning fast hit. The staff uppercut makes jabbing come out a little bit too late to guarantee it on an uppercut grapple, but this doesn't apply to 2-1-1, weapon swap combos, or character-specific combos. Juggernaut. Juggernaut gives you a stacking bonus attack damage stat that goes alongside your normal attack damage stat from Soul Jades, letting you double your max damage bonus from Jades. Only one Juggernaut levels up at a time, and Juggernaut loses a level when it's dropped. In team modes, this Jade always goes to your main damage dealer. Hexa Harmony Spear changes the spear charge horizontal to a higher risk, higher reward attack, since it does more damage overall than the original attack, but Hexa Harmony cannot be cancelled after starting, though the final thrust part of the attack can be turned away. Octaslash Blade. Octaslash changes the vertical follow-up of Dual Blade's charged attacks to have gold focus through a moderate damage attack that CCs enemies for a brief moment. If the first part of the attack hits, then the rest is guaranteed. This Jade can be confirmed in combo by turning your camera to displace the enemy during the charged vertical, then turning your camera back and starting the Octaslash. Shaolin Staff. Shaolin Staff is one of the few 1-2-3 Jades left in the game, and it can actually be confirmed in combo without weapon swapping, though it is also possible to do it like that, obviously. Tai Chi Fan. Tai Chi Fan changes the fan's crouch horizontal, and while its attack may not seem too deadly on its own, it does confirm an uppercut with the fan, which can lead to a ton of damage. Wheelform Hook. Wheelform Hook is an insanely powerful Jade for Dual Halberd's second stage charge vertical, where the targeted enemy is locked into the CC attack and cannot use combo breaker abilities to interrupt it. This Jade is good for backline characters and team modes, or solo characters that can guarantee a 2.0 under certain circumstances like Valda or Justina. Merciless Havoc. Merciless Havoc is one of the best soul Jades for team modes since it provides gold focus to such a large area and heavily displaces enemies caught in it. You can get more damage from this Jade by cancelling it after the 5th hit with a crouch vertical, allowing you to extend a combo even further. Meteor. Meteor changes the trajectory of cannon shots, making them go perfectly straight forward for a very long distance. This Jade is extremely useful in trios, but it can also be good in solos for long-range engagements or third-partying. However, cannon is still slower to pull out and shoot than most other ranged weapons like pistol or musket, making it weaker in solos in general. Meteor goes well on Natarka since his preferred ranged weapon in his ultimate is the cannon. Mortal Defiance. Mortal Defiance saves your life one time. That's really it. Nothing else really special about this Jade. If you know some tech with Mortal Defiance, leave it in a comment down below. Overlord. Overlord makes your stone form always max level. This means you can immediately get to 3.0 Jades like Overcomer or Earthshaker with one single attack proc of stone form, and makes a Blistering Edge stone form release extra deadly. Underrated Jade here. Phoenix Blast. Phoenix Blast makes the longsword charge attacks in 2 energy waves instead of 1. With a slightly increased overall damage and better juggle physics than the original charge attacks, guaranteeing more damage after the charge. Poison Splash. Poison Splash is actually not that bad of a Jade when you die, but it is a Jade that doesn't help you win a fight until you are kind of already losing it. It rewards you for playing bad and doesn't give you an advantage over your opponents. Give this to your teammate who you think will die first. Bride's Fall. Bride's Fall unlocks a Dagger 2.0 horizontal charge attack that acts like a command grab, locking an enemy into the animation and preventing them from breaking out with any defensive abilities. This Jade is very good on characters with combo abilities that can guarantee it, like Valda F1. Quick Charge and Thunder Call. Quick Charge makes your pistol shots charge fast and silently, but reduces the base damage by a bit to compensate. It still increases your overall DPS, and even more so when you unlock Thunder Call to boost the damage even further. Rampage. Rampage is a hung sword Jade that changes the charge horizontal, giving it a fast blue focus startup that changes to purple focus halfway through. This attack does very good damage, and it can be cancelled with a horizontal attack or a vertical shadow step before the blue focus or after the purple focus. Razor Swift. Razor Swift changes the gold focus Neja's Might attack of Spear to cover more horizontal area while having about the same damage. An important thing to note about this Jade is that it prevents comboing out of the gold focus with an uppercut. Crouch vertical becomes untrue with this Jade even after only 1 tick. I don't recommend this Jade in solos. Repair Roll. Repair Roll lets you repair a weapon instantly with a dodge that has normal iframes but doesn't cost any stamina. When you have Repair Roll, don't forget to use it if you run out of stamina just to dodge an attack while you regain your energy. Ripple Step and Phantom Step. Ripple Step and Phantom Step is a great Jade. This throws off enemy melee aim assist, so enemy attacks will have a hard time landing since they will not be magnetizing to the user of this Jade anytime they're invisible. This little bit of invisibility can be timed to counter Viper Ultimate. Rupture Gale Orb and Burn. Rupture Gale Orb increases the size of the explosion radius of cannon shots, making it much easier to deal with, but the damage of shots is cut in half. This balances out a bit more when Burn is unlocked, since enemies hit will suffer from a 5-second burning debuff. Zap. Sap is an insanely good jade now that they've all been combined into one universal jade that affects every weapon simultaneously. Sap heals you based on how much damage you deal with parry attacks, and when hitting multiple enemies with a single parry attack, you will heal for each enemy hit. This jade wins games all on its own. It's so incredibly powerful. Each weapon's sap attack can be followed up on for extra damage, so make sure you know how to get some extra damage out of your sap parries. Scattershot. Scattershot is a niche bow jade that some players swear by, while others will never pick it up. Scattershot splits your bow shots into 3 arrows that fly horizontally aligned and can hit different targets at once. Charging the bow tightens the spread of the 3 arrows, letting you land multiple headshots on the same enemy. Sky Punch. Sky Punch is one of the newest jades in the game at the time of making this list. It changes the fist blade's uppercut to send the enemy and the user into the air. Sky Punch is not guaranteed after ACCing, and there are a few good ways to follow up on Sky Punch, including multiple jump horizontals or using Cloud Weaver after a grapple bomb. Sky Punch grapple swap can guarantee pretty much any 1.0 jade in the game. Sky Force. Sky Force fully heals the user's armor every time they get a kill. This is good for solos since it will help you be ready for third-party engagements right after you finish a fight, and great for a main damage dealer in team modes since they can get free sustain from Sky Force to help them snowball the fight after a kill. Slow Shot and Sunwing Shot. Slow Shot makes musket shots deal more damage when aiming down the sights, but gives a longer recovery animation after each shot. This jade is often underrated, as someone with good aim will know that the value this jade provides can be very substantial. It nearly doubles the damage of a headshot, and it's possible to one-shot enemies in the head with a gold musket by combining Slow Shot and Armor Pierce with Max Attack, Max Juggernaut, and a Prickly Pear. Sunwing Shot only really changes bullet trajectory and is mostly useless. Soft Step and Gecko Foot. Soft Step makes your footsteps silent, which can be great in the right situation, and definitely helps for losing enemies that are trying to track you as you run away, but in general, Soft Step provides low value. Gecko Foot, however, is a bit slept on. Gecko Foot increases your wall climbing speed significantly and boosts the damage of your Scale Rush attacks by about 20%. This is very useful when using a heavy sword since their Scale Rush damage is already high, and Gecko Foot just makes it obnoxious. Soothing Boon. Soothing Boon gives your armor powder, healing berries, grapples, and repair kits a chance to not be consumed when using them, up to 40% when upgraded. Honestly, 40% chance to save supplies is pretty good, especially in a sweaty in-game situation where there's a battle of attrition between parties who don't want to overcommit. Soul Release. Soul Release refreshes the user's skill cooldown when getting a kill. This jade is better for some characters than others, and especially good on characters that have damaging or combo abilities that help them win a fight, like Viper, Valda F1, Takeda, Akos, and so on. Soul Slash. Soul Slash changes Katana's second stage charged attacks, and recently got a buff to its range, area, and damage. It can be followed up on with a vertical blue, a horizontal into crouch horizontal, or jump horizontals. The horizontal version is better for comboing off of than the vertical since it puts the enemy higher into the air. Soul Slash also confirms Thunderstorm, but we will cover that more in the Thunderstorm section. Soul Shatter and Nether Step. Soul Shatter changes the fan quick dash wind wall attack into a very fast single strike attack that confirms an uppercut, which, as we already know, can lead to a massive amount of damage for free. Nether Step is cool and useful, but it's really just a mix-up to keep your offense safe. Stamina Strike. Stamina Strike changes Katana's vertical chain ender, making it heal for some of the damage done. This attack can, of course, be confirmed in combo. Stanchion Sky Pillar. Stanchion Sky Pillar changes the normal stanchion attack to a shorter range attack that affects the area around the user and silences any enemy's hit. The silence lasts long enough to do the entire standard Rising Cloud attack before the enemy has a chance to use a defensive ability. With Baldur's F1, you can loop the first silence into another silence and still get Rising Cloud. Starfall. Starfall unlocks a special grab attack when pressing grapple while already grappling onto an opponent. This attack is really good for catching an opponent that you're chasing, or for locking an enemy in place for a moment so that your team can have their way with them. Stormstride. Stormstride still gives access to an infinite combo with the staff, though it is soft true throughout, so the enemy can use a pseudo-defensive gold focus skill to break out of it. When you have Stormstride, be mindful of when it will strike your opponent with lightning, since the lightning strike causes stagger that can interrupt your true combos. Swift Cut. Swift Cut is also a very new jade at the time of making this video. It gives the same charging animation to Katana as Soul Slash, but only for the horizontal, since it only alters the horizontal attack. Swift Cut does its damage in a 3-strike attack with considerably more damage than the normal attack, and this jade can still be confirmed on a normal Katana combo. Switch Dazzle. Switch Dazzle is a very niche jade that doesn't see much use. Most players don't even like to pick this jade up, and it's easy to forget you have this jade when you do. It unlocks a special attack for each ranged weapon when swapping from melee to ranged after an attack, and I made a video on this jade a long time ago showing combo structure for all the weapon combinations that were available at that time, and if you'd like to see some of the possibilities with new weapons and character abilities, let me know in the comments and I'll consider maybe doing a new, updated Switch Dazzle combo video since this is one of my favorite jades of all time. Tempest Kick. Tempest Kick is a fairly new jade. It alters a Fist Blade's second stage charge vertical to unleash a devastating blue focus flurry attack that cannot be cancelled and ends with a single purple focus strike. It can be confirmed in combo on Matari F2 when combined with Sky Punch. The Overcomer. The Overcomer is a high-risk, high-reward soul jade that can easily guarantee a kill on an enemy that doesn't have a defensive ability ready. It's important to note that this jade can be cancelled at any time after the third strike, so not only can you bait an enemy into parrying so you can punish them, but you can also extend a combo at the end of this jade. Thunderstorm. Thunderstorm changes the vertical follow-up after a katana charged attack. This is guaranteed after using Soul Slash. Thunderstorm can also be cancelled before the final part of the attack, letting you extend your combo even further. Tuna. Tuna is the reason you should have the rest emote on every character's emote wheel, since using the rest emote with Tuna restores HP and after a few seconds gives you a continuous armor regeneration buff that lasts for 2 minutes and will end up healing around 2000 armor. If you drop Tuna after using it, you will still keep the buff. This is why you may see whole teams taking turns hitting Tuna and passing it so everybody gets some. Twin Shot and Bounce Shell. Twin Shot reduces the damage of individual cannon shots, but fires 2 consecutive shots every time you pull the trigger. This increases the overall DPS of the cannon, but makes it so you run out of ammo much faster. The upgrade to Bounce Shell makes it easier to hit shots since they will explode when in close proximity of an enemy, and lets you extend the range of the cannon shots by bouncing them off the ground or walls. Combine this with any other cannon jade for great results. Universe Slash. Universe Slash changes Dual Blade's second stage charge vertical attack to a wide sweeping, high damage attack that is unfortunately very easy to parry. Universe Slash is somewhat weak in solos, but better in team modes on characters that play in the back since they can pressure their teammates' targets with it. Vajra's Grip. Vajra's Grip prevents you from dropping your weapon when you get parried, and is especially great when dealing with an enemy that doesn't have sap, who is using a weapon that doesn't deal its parry punish damage in a single hit, like Dagger, while you have a defensive ability ready. It's also just good for not losing a valuable weapon that you don't want to give up. Velocity Untold and Trigger. Velocity Untold makes a nunchuck's horizontal charge attack super fast and unreactable, great for hold check pressure and conditioning your opponent to parry. Since the nunchuck's uppercut kinda sucks, you have to use weapon swap to confirm this one in combo. Even with 2-on-1, the range is just too short. Trigger makes horizontal block free, and it can activate on ranged attacks. Completely OP. Venom Tip and Barb Bolts. Venom Tip and Barb Bolts is the only remaining jade in the game for repeating crossbow. It makes the bolts do slightly less damage on impact and adds poison damage per bolt. This damage evens out to where the jade doesn't increase the overall damage of the crossbow, but it is nice to deal poison damage from a distance, especially when third partying or when teamed with a muck. Warrior Pace and Infernal Slash. Warrior Pace makes you move faster when you're charging Greatsword horizontal, but at this point, I think this jade should just be a built-in feature, like the Pulse Sword and dual-wielded weapons already have, and I'm not sure why Greatsword has to move so slow without this jade. Regardless, this jade makes pressuring with horizontal charge a more viable strategy, and once it upgrades to Infernal Slash, you can get really good value from horizontal charge attacks, since they'll apply burn damage. Wild Windspout. Wild Windspout makes fan charge vertical attacks send out 2 little tornadoes that can both be parried and will reflect onto the user for additional damage. This jade gets you about the same amount of damage on an uppercut as the regular fan combo, but it's much easier and has the added effect of knocking the enemy away. Windy Trinity. Windy Trinity changes your fan horizontal charge attacks to send out 3 separate spinning fans. This move is a bit risky since the parryable area spans the entire 3 fans, but it does pretty good damage to anyone in the wide cone area. Okay, so that is all common uses and practical tech for every Soul Jade that is still in the game. If you think of some other uses for any of these, please feel free to leave it in a comment because there are so many possibilities and I surely didn't cover every imaginable scenario. If you're still watching, please consider hitting the like button and subscribing, and join the channel with the join button below to show your support right here on YouTube. Hope you enjoyed this video, have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you all in the next one.